Hi there, Phil Simborg with an interesting bearing off play. Uh, it's a normal match score or a money game or an unlimited game, whatever you prefer. And red is on roll, and blue has the cube, and red has double one to play. Let me be quiet and give you a couple of minutes to. Okay, by now I'm sure many of you have made your decision. If you're a really, really good player, it probably is taking you longer. And that's lesson number one. Things aren't as obvious as they seem. There's a lot of potential plays here. Taking 4 off, making the 5 point and taking 2 off, moving a checker from 6 to 4, taking 2 off. All of those are very reasonable plays, and none of those are the best play. So the first thing you start out with asking yourself is, what are your goals? You want to win the game, and you want to win gammons. And what's your best way to accomplish that? Well, sometimes the two ideas fight each other. Sometimes you think that the way to win the most gammons is not necessarily the best way to just win games. But there's a great saying, and Stick says it all the time: when in doubt, make the double match point play. Make the play that wins the most games. In this case, the play that wins the most games also wins the most gammons by far. And the right play, by far, which many people don't even see, is to move 3 checkers from the 4 point to the 3 point and take 1 off. It's not an easy play to see until you've looked at it. And by the way, you can see nothing else comes close. This is only 3 ply, but don't worry about it. It rolled out. It's very, very clear that this is the best play. I'll show you what it looks like after you make the play. You can hit final down here in Extreme Gammon, by the way, and you can see what it's going to look like. You can see how the play looks initially, or you can use arrows to see how the play works. Extreme Gammon's got a lot of great tools. But this is how it looks when it's done. Tell me, what number leaves a shot next time? Can you think of one? Well, there's a reason if you can't think of one. Nothing leaves a shot. Everything plays safely. And that's your main goal now. The number one way to not get a gammon is by getting hit. And the number one way to lose the game is by getting hit. Now, you still might, with this double gap in here, you still might well leave a shot later. But later you've got a lot more checkers off. So that if you do leave a shot and you get hit, you still are probably going to win the game if you get enough checkers off. The other beauty of this play is you get your opponent off of your 3 point. Instead of having a 2 and 3 point, this checker has to come in on the 4, 5, or 2 point. And maybe he won't have as many shots at you when you do leave the shot. But the biggest lesson here is to look at all the possible plays. And if you're not sure, make the play you think that's going to win the most games. In this case, it wins the most games, and as you can see, it also wins the most gammons. If you can't see, the number of games it wins with the right play is about 78%, and with the next best play, 72%, and it goes down from there. The number of gammons the best play wins is 53%, and the next best play goes down to 45%, and it goes down from there. I have to tell you that I've shown this position to many, many people, and hardly anybody even sees the right play, because this is not a natural play to leave this kind of a gap, especially when you can make another point. It looks smoother to do it that way. It also sort of makes sense, let's go back to the initial, to take 4 checkers off. And that's an interesting idea. Of course, we didn't even discuss the fact that you could also make the 3 point. I forgot to mention that as a potential play that is only about a 28% error. So the biggest lesson is take your time, look at all the possible plays, consider your goals, and realize that backgammon isn't that easy. It takes time. I think a really top player, and I've seen really top players take quite a bit of time to come up with the right play here. So if you had a knee-jerk play or a knee-jerk reaction, or you saw a play that you thought looked good and you made it, that's going to bite you a lot of the time. Don't do it. Thanks for watching. Phil Simborg for the USBGF, and we'll see you again soon.